it's Elizabeth Sweetwater here and welcome back to my sewing room. A lot of you requested a tutorial for the zipper jacket, especially the tricky parts like inserting the zipper and making all the lines match. That's what I'll do today in this tutorial, and enjoy the video. So now I've cut out all my pieces and I will quickly go through them to show you all the pieces. Start with the sleeve stripe. We have a front stripe. I already put interfacing on there. Interfacing is this, by the way. It's ready-made interfacing, but you can also buy it a bit wider and then cut a thin strip yourself. Here we have our ribbing pieces, front, back, cuffs. Then we have back yoke, inside and outside. I cut the back yoke inside and outside from the same material, both French terry, but you can also cut the inside from single jersey. Same goes for the facing. You can cut it in single jersey or also French terry. Then we have the collar, also reinforced already. The front top bit, two sleeve bits. We have the piping band, a label, and the front and back of the jacket. I cut the jacket slightly more tailored. Maybe you can see it. See, I made a bit more tailoring on the side, but that's just an option. Now we'll put the pieces together. You can of course check the tutorial on Weebly until I get to the first challenge, which will be the collar and the facing. I have sewn all the seams of the body and the facing and I have pressed them open. I will now attach the back yoke facing to the back yoke. I've already indicated the middle of the back yoke and the back yoke facing. And you pin it on the side where you can see the stitch line. And now you sew it with a stretch stitch, and then afterwards we will fold it back like this. So the back yoke is now attached and I pressed it. Next thing we need to do now is attach the collar to the front of the jacket. Fold this back. These little clippings here, they would have to go to the shoulder points here. The right sides together. One shoulder. And then the mid front goes together. You can now pin the areas in between, and then I'm going to sew it with a stretch stitch. So I have now an attached collar at the front, as you can see, but attaching it on the inside is going to be a little bit trickier. What I've done is I've indicated the halfway mark of the collar and the halfway mark of the back neck, and these points need to be pinned on top of one another. I'm going to fold this in and you place both of them together. So now I'm going to go inside with my hand and pinch those two pins together and turn it inside out. And now you can pin those two together. You also pin the shoulder mark to the shoulder. And you pin the front of your facing to the front of your collar. Pin the space in between. Now you have to sew from the back of the neck all the way to the front. So you're only doing half of the neck. So that's one half of the inside of your collar attached, and now we need to do the other half. So I'm going in via the other side. So you're now going to attach your shoulder mark to the shoulder and the mid front of your collar to the front of your facing. And now you can sew the other half. So the collar is now sewn on, inside and outside. And I have also attached my front waistband, as you can see here, on both sides. It's now time for the zipper. What's very important before you pin in the zipper is that you measure whether you've sewn everything correctly. So I'm going to measure mine, and it's a little bit under 60 centimeters. That would be good enough. My zipper is 60 centimeters. And what I've done to prepare my zipper is I've folded over the beginning and sewn it. Now we can pin the zipper in, only one half at a time. What you do is you fold the zipper over and you will pin the zipper tape to the front of the jacket. So only the front part, not the facing part. I've indicated with pins where the beginning and the end is. And you go a little bit, like a millimeter or so above the pin. Same here, just a tiny bit under the pin. So top and bottom first, stretch it a bit, and sort of walk towards the middle. And then you pin in between. Make sure that all the seams are open. So you can put a few more pins in and then it's time to sew the zipper. Make sure that you use a zipper foot when you sew in the zipper, because a zipper foot will go very near the teeth of the zipper. So I've sewn one half of the zipper, as you can see. And now we need to pin the other half of the zipper. I'm already holding the crucial point between my fingers, because that's the hardest part to pin. What you do is you put the right sides together like this. You just lay them on top of one another and you place a pin. Then you go to the next seam, you do the same thing. Pin. Next seam. And the neck seam here. And then you turn it over to see if the lines are in the correct place, and if not, you correct. So if you're happy with all the points, then you can pin all the areas in between. And if you want to be super certain that it will still line up after you've sewn it, you can also baste it first. So both sides of the zipper are now in. And next thing is the attaching of the facing to the zipper. So the right side goes on top of the zipper and you pin on the inside of the jacket. As you can see, I'm pinning the seams on top of one another. And now pin in between. Once it's pinned, you can sew it with the sewing machine. So we've zoomed along and we're nearly finished. Both facing parts are attached to the zipper, and I've inserted the sleeves and I've sewn the side seams and the side seams of the waistband. Of course, you can read all these steps on our Weebly tutorial. One final tricky step that I want to show you is to pin the waistband. So you want to attach both layers of the waistband to the bottom of the jacket but you want the seam to be going inside of the facing. So what you do is you hold all the 3 layers together, and then you fold this a little bit inside out, like so, and then you pin on the waistband side. And then you continue to pin the whole waistband. And the zipper jacket is finished. So I have top stitched along the zipper, put the cuffs in, open it up. You can see a neat inside because of the facing, and also the overlock stitch goes into the facing. That's it. So that concludes the tutorial of the zipper jacket. I hope you enjoyed it. It inspired you to make your own version. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy making!